he said, I come to relieve suffering. So when he was ordained in 1957, he chose to be assigned into San Korea, and that was actually where there were a lot of orphans and widows. He started the Congregation of the Sisters of Mary in 1964 in order to relieve the suffering of the poor, especially for the orphans, the widows, the sick, and the dying. So he started a boys' town and a girls' town to take care of the orphans and the abandoned children, and also to give them education in order to prepare them for a brighter future. And also he started hospitals for the poor, and all the services are for free. And then in 1983, he received an award in the Philippines. It's the Ramon Magsaysay Award for the works that he did in Korea. So he was elected by Cardinal Sin at that time, and he started the congregation in 1985. And in 1989, he was diagnosed to have amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and his health really deteriorated. It was a terminal illness, but then since to his love for the poor and also his devotion to the Blessed Mother, he started the work in Mexico, and also in order to help the poor. So, but then he died in March 1992 in the Philippines, but still the work continues. So as of this time, we are taking care of 21,000 children in Korea, in the Philippines, in Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil, Honduras, and Tanzania. And in 2003, his cause for beatification was started because the devotion to him, many more are coming to visit the tomb, and his fame of sanctity continues to grow, especially among the poor and the children, the beneficiaries of the congregation. So as of this time, we are waiting for miracles for him to be beatified. So he was declared venerable in 2013. But the work continues, and that's why we have here in London, we have the World Villages for Children to help support our charity programs in this country.
Yeah, and I just remember as I read about I've heard Americans now just call him Venerable Al. I don't know how you refer to him within the order, but as I read about him, I found him so inspiring. I was also a little bit struck by the fact that I know he had a Dominican relative in his family. I forget whether it was an aunt or an uncle or a cousin. But at the time when he was thinking about leaving the Mariathon missionaries and to do something much more sort of radical and something much more in solidarity with the poor, but all of his family discouraged him. And I think the Dominican said to him, "Don't be an idiot, you're making a massive mistake," which shows you shouldn't always listen to Dominicans. And I can see the sisters laughing and nodding a little bit at that too. But listen to us sometimes. But yeah, listen to the Blessed Mother,
Yes.
and to God most of all. And then for those who might not have heard about sort of or recall ALS, which is the sort of debilitating and degenerative condition that sort of Venerable Aloysius bore with such grace. I think it became more famous with the Ice Bucket Challenge, which was incredibly popular about maybe 10, 12 years ago. Do you know that? Did you hear of that, sisters?
Yeah, we have heard about that.
You didn't get forced to do it?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but actually, when Father Al got sick about that, that was the first time that we heard about ALS. But then afterwards, we heard more and more that there are some other people also afflicted with that kind of disease.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, whose family was sort of struck by ALS. She was actually involved with coming up with the ice bucket challenge, which I think if you run a charity, yeah, that was a very clever thing to raise lots of money for an important cause. We're going to listen to a little bit of music now, and then after that, I'd like to hear a little bit more about your stories, how you came to be attracted to the Sisters of Mary, and then hear something more of the way that you've poured your lives out in service of the poorest. So we're going to listen now to In Him Alone, which is by the Bukas Palad Music Ministry. And just a reminder that we're raising funds for Radio Maria in the Philippines, so the number if you want to call in and donate is 0300 302 1251. That's 0300 302 1251, or you can go on the website radiomariaengland.uk. That's www.radiomariaengland.uk. What have we to offer that does not fade or wither? Can the world ever satisfy the emptiness in our hearts? In vain we deny. In Him alone is our hope. In Him alone is our strength. In Him alone are we justified. In Him alone are we saved. Under you seas running in search of follow meaning. Let His love be the. Just a reminder, if you want to donate, that number is 0300 302 1251. That's 0300 302 1251. We have people on the phone lines ready and eager to take your call. You are listening to Radio Maria, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sisters of Mary, Sister Elena and Sister Margarita, who are over here in England, spreading the word of what the Sisters of Mary do, especially through the World Villages for Children charity, which seeks to end poverty through education, going to the very poorest children, often in very remote places, and giving them love, healing, and opportunities that they might otherwise not have. So, Sister Margarita, I'd love to hear from you first of all about how you first came across the sisters and your vocation story.
Thank you, Father. I was a catechist in the parish church where I belong in Chalco. And it happened that at that time, Father Aloysius Schwartz, our founder, was beginning the program together with 3 sisters. So when I knew about them, I joined them because I wanted to become a missionary and to serve the poor and I always like to work with the children. I enjoyed teaching about Jesus, sharing about Jesus to the children. What I was doing in the parish as a catechist, I really enjoyed. I really feel the necessity to talk about Jesus and to share about him to the children, especially to the children. So I joined the congregation, and until now I'm happy to be for 35 years serving with them to the needy children who come from all over the provinces where our congregation is established in different countries, but they come from all the provinces of the country where we are established.
Well, 35 years of very loving, but also very hard work. But you look like you must have joined when you were about 10. So very good for you. And so you actually met Venerable Aloysius.
Yes,
So,
I have that.
can you tell us what struck you about him?
Uh-huh. The first time I saw him, the sisters brought me to the airport with them to welcome him, and then his eyes were very pure. You can see in his sight something beyond. So his smile through the suffering, because when I saw him for the first time, he was already in a wheelchair because of the ALS, but then he was smiling, and then his eyes were very bright. And then he arrived at the school also, and he was asking to the sister to raise up his hand so that he could greet the children, even though for him it was painful, but he was happy to see the children happy. So his
Beautiful.
joy, especially his joy, is what struck me and inspired me the most.
Yeah, joy in suffering is such a powerful witness. And Sister Lynette, could you tell us a little bit about, especially the work of the sisters in the Philippines that you're doing, and the problems that you encounter there, and how you try and bring God's love into that?
Go around to different poor areas. We are in contact with the bishop, the priest, or the school principals, and we try to visit the families, to see the homes. Really, they are coming from poor families, so we have to cross rivers, to use the boats and climb mountains in order to see the places and the slum areas. And they are really coming from the poor families, so we bring them to our schools, and we provide them with food, clothing, shelter, and high school education with intensive vocational training, because our purpose is to prepare them to find jobs and after they finish their classes, so that they can be able to help their families. So we are happy that in the Philippines, actually, we have more than 80,000 children who have graduated already from our schools, and at present we have like 10,000 children from grade 7 to grade 12, and they are trying their best. And the duties that they have, we always say they have the 4 duties. They have to study, they have to work, they have to play, and above all, they have to pray. And they pray the rosary every 7 o'clock in the evening, all together. And also during their free time, they go to visit the Blessed Sacrament. And we help them to increase their devotion to our Blessed Mother, because that was also the teaching and the life of our founder. He really loved to pray the rosary, and that is what he was telling us. That is also the secret of our charity programs, the Blessed Sacrament and the rosary every day. It's a very powerful prayer. So now our graduates, we have seen them, and they come also from time to time, and they are really trying to practice what they have learned, and they are also teaching what they have and what they learn in their catechism, and teaching their children to pray, and also their families. So we are happy with that, and we are very grateful to our Blessed Mother for that. And we could see, and that's what I saw in our founder, that he really loved our Blessed Mother very much. So he was always praying the rosary, even how busy he was really dedicating time to pray personally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, concretely, what does this actually look like when you describe going through rivers, up mountains? When you go to these places for the first time, how many of you might go, and what sort of reaction do you get when you arrive there, and how do you try and persuade people to send their children to your schools? Is it difficult, or are they delighted to see you? What's the sort of reaction?
Yeah, at the start, when we were starting in 1985, yeah, it was there was a lot of skepticism. The people could not believe that there is something, everything free, offered to the children. So they were telling, oh, maybe we are white communists because we are wearing white habits. And they said, oh, what they will do with the children. But then, little by little, they came to know that what we are really offering to them, that is free education and free help to them. They, little by little, they come to understand that we are really offering what is true, what we are telling, no? And that is coming from God. And now we have a lot of applicants from all over the countries. But then
Motion detected at the front door.
go and really choose the poorest of the poor. So out of every year, even last week, we had accepted around 3,000 children, and they are come from like more than 20,000 have applied for the slots, but our capacity is not enough. So now, thanks be to God that the people already believe, and also in the companies where our graduates are working, they are performing well. So that's why it's easier for us also to help them to find jobs.
Yeah, and if our listeners, and I'm sure they will want to find out more about the projects that you're doing, the charity that supports the work and supports the schools that the Sisters of Mary run is called World Villages for Children, and they have an excellent website, worldvillages.org.uk, where you can go out and find a whole lot more information and learn about how you can help as well. That's worldvillages.org.uk. We're going to go to a little bit more music now, and then after the music, we're going to ask for a few more stories and something of the Sister Margarita about the places where you've served and your experiences. I'm going to take a coward's option because I've had so much difficulty pronouncing songs in Tagalog this morning. I've seen ones with one with an English title, so I'm giving myself a rest from bad pronunciation and just going with "You Are Near" by De Jesus Mariel. You're listening to Radio Maria. This is day one of our marathon as we seek to raise monies to help increase the infrastructure and the reach of Radio Maria in the Philippines. The number, if you want to donate, is 0300 302 1251. That's 0300 302 1251. Or you can go on our website to donate. That's www.radiomariaengland.uk, www.radiomariaengland.uk. This is You Are Nearby de Jesus Mariel, and shortly we'll be back with the Sisters of Mary, Sister Elena and Sister Margarita. Standing always at my side, you guard me from the foe, and you lead me in ways everlasting. Throughout can I run from your land? Can I run if I climb to the heavens above? If I fly the sunrise or sail beyond the sea, still I find. Hello, you are listening to Radio Maria. This is day one of our Mariathon. Thank you very much to Vincent from Stevenage, who recently called in with a donation, and to everybody who's donated so far today. I'm delighted to have in the studio with me Sisters of Mary, Sister Elena and Sister Margarita, who've been sharing with us some of the beautiful work and the foundation of their congregation by Venerable Aloysius Swartz. I wondered if, Sisters, now you might just share with us some sort of particular stories, perhaps, of projects that you've been involved in, and maybe particular children whose lives have been transformed by the work.
Yes, Father, thank you. We are, especially in my case, I'm very happy to see the transformation of the lives of a child and how the people who is helping us makes a difference in their lives. Because I remember in particularly one boy whose name is Alejandro. He is from Mexico, and when he was about to finish his last study, he studied with us for 4 years, and in the last year, about to graduate 6 months before his graduation, he went for vacation, and his father told him, "Since we are not poor anymore, you see, I have bought a car," and he gave him a car. He was showing him a gun, and he was showing him a young lady, but 26 years old, and he was only 15 years old. And he said, "You can get married with her, and then we will be already okay." But then this boy was remembering what he learned at the school, the values and also the skills. And then he said, "I don't like to do that. I want to really by myself nurture my future, and then I want to work what I learned." He studied auto mechanics through the help of Toyota. So he said, I will not do that." So with the help of his uncle, he ran away from home, and he returned to the school, and he was able to finalize his studies and graduate. So after his graduation, he continued to work there in the company that hired him. And some time ago, like 1.5 years ago, I visited the company and I saw him, and he was very happy, and I was also very impressed by the progress that he has done and how his life has changed when he entered, and now how he is doing. And likewise, we have many stories of the students who have been, some in the same country, some abroad, but they are changing their life, especially defending the moral values that they have learned and still trying to be faithful to their faith.
Yeah, that's incredibly beautiful, incredibly powerful, because it's one thing to learn these lessons and maybe to stay true to what you've learned when your sort of peers are pressuring, you've got family and older family trying to sort of lead you into a certain way of life. It takes real courage to stand up and say, no, this is what I've learned. This is what I know to be good. This is what I know to be true. So really beautiful to hear that. And I imagine some of the children that come to you, not only the emotions that poverty brings and all the hardships at that, but some really severe sort of emotional and spiritual wounds. Are there any other stories you'd like to share with us about that, or ways in which you find that these wounds are healed over time?
Yes, in the part of the girls who are arriving at our school, since they are coming from families where they share the room with 6, 7 people, it's very hard for them to be protected or to be safe. And when they arrive to our school, many of them are telling that this is the first time I can sleep very tranquil, very calm. I'm not afraid because I'm safe. I feel safe here. So they have their own place to stay, their own bed, and then they feel safe and they can concentrate and focus in their school, in their studies. Some of them, they did not know that they are discovering their talents and abilities there, because now they can focus without any other kind of pressures or fears. And then they also say that they don't feel lonely, they don't feel alone, because they can have the help of God through their prayer. And when they need, they can go to the chapel and talk to God, to Mama Mary, and to the sisters, to the teachers.
Yeah, that's so beautiful that you're able to provide that for them. And Sister Lena, perhaps you might say something of like, what would you say the biggest struggles that you face in your work? Like, obviously, there's the need. Everything that you're doing costs money, and the need for finances for that. And as I said to our listeners, you can find out more about the work and ways to support on worldvillages.org.uk. But are there other particular difficulties that you come across, or things in society that you think, gosh, this makes life more difficult?
Yeah, it's difficult, financially to support our children, but then also at the same time, we had some difficulties to hire, like, really teachers, good teachers to really teach the children, and we were able to overcome that actually this time, because we have many of our graduates coming. They got some scholarships and they finished their university, so they are able to finish as teachers. So they come to us to help. And also in the society, sometimes we have sometimes in the government, sometimes they are causing some difficulties, no? It's like in Mexico, they don't allow us to teach the religion, although in our way we try to insert religion in our classes, but then it's not really official. But then that is a thing also that we try to overcome, to find a way how to have solution to the problems that come to us.
Yeah, I think it might be a surprise to some of our listeners to hear that the conditions of living the faith in Mexico have been so difficult at so many points in history, with the faith banned. And if you haven't read Graham Greene's The Power and the Glory, then you really should do one of the, I think, the best Catholic novels ever written, set in Mexico, with a flawed but fundamentally good priest in a time of great persecution. And the Mexican martyrs are, especially Blessed Miguel Pro, source of real inspiration. to me. We're going to listen to a little bit more music now, and then we'll come back for one final word from the sisters. This is God of Silence from the album In Him Alone by the Bukas Palad Music Ministry.